Today, on July 24th, Archangel Michael saw a nurse touch your arm, and what entered your body wasn't just medicine. She thinks you'll dismiss this as nothing. But Michael says you must watch before it goes deeper. Today is no ordinary day. It may look normal on the surface, just another appointment, another dose, another moment you thought was routine. But what you didn't see is what Archangel Michael saw when the nurse touched your arm. The moment her fingers made contact, something spiritual shifted. It wasn't just a needle. It wasn't just a gentle hand. It was a spiritual exchange. Something invisible entered your bloodstream. Something not from heaven. You may be tempted to shrug this off, thinking it was just your imagination, or just another part of life. But Archangel Michael is urgently sounding the alarm. He wants you to understand that this wasn't just physical. There are people, even in uniforms, who carry spiritual weight, both good and evil. And some of them are being used as open gates. That nurse may not have known what she carried, but heaven did. And now, so must you. Archangel Michael stands as your defender, the great warrior of heaven. He was assigned to watch over you. And in that very moment, when your arm was touched, he saw what most eyes cannot see. He saw a foreign spirit try to enter your body through that encounter. This spirit is not here to bless, heal, or comfort. It is a delaying force, a fog of confusion, a sickness that may not show itself right away but waits quietly until the right moment to strike. Michael says this message is your only warning before it goes deeper. If you ignore it, if you scroll past, if you call it nonsense, then the spiritual opening may grow. You may feel tired, disconnected, or unwell in ways you can't explain. But if you open your heart now and act in faith, Michael can reverse the breach. Heaven has released this message at just the right time. It is your divine interception. This is not a call to fear. This is a call to awareness. Michael doesn't bring fear. He brings clarity, protection, and victory. You have not been left alone. God sent his warrior angel ahead of the attack, and this message is the sword in your hand. If you stay with it, follow the instruction, and listen closely, you will not only be healed, but spiritually fortified. The nurse's touch may have opened a gate, but Michael's voice through this message is opening a way out. Type I am protected to get the blessing 4421. When the nurse touched your arm, you thought it was just part of the visit. It was not just medicine that entered your body that day. Some people are carriers of light. Others, knowingly or unknowingly, carry spirits that can weaken, confuse, or block your divine path. The nurse may have looked kind. She may have even smiled. But heaven saw a different reality. Something she carried, something attached to her, transferred into you in that moment. A spiritual residue. A fog that brings delay, fear, sickness, or deep confusion. Type I am rising to get the blessing 5124. His spirit may not show its face right away. That's the danger. He hides. It makes you second-guess yourself. It changes your moods. It slowly clouds your vision, your mind, your heart. It can make you feel disconnected from God, from your peace, from your clarity. Michael is revealing it now so it can be removed before it goes deeper. That is mercy. That is divine timing. You may have noticed something strange after that visit. Maybe your thoughts have been foggy. Maybe sleep is harder. Maybe your emotions feel heavier. Or perhaps your energy had been off. These are not random things. These are signs that something entered. But here's the good news. What was planted can be removed. What was hidden can be revealed. What was spiritual can be spiritually undone. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 6310. Archangel Michael is drawing his sword. Not against people, but against spirits. Spirits that hide behind normal life. Behind handshakes, hugs, glances, and even medical care. He's not calling you to fear hospitals or nurses. He's calling you to wake up. You see, with your spirit. To know that some people are used, without knowing, to transfer things that do not belong to God's kingdom. You have been marked for protection. That's why you're hearing this. That's why heaven interrupted your day. Because God saw what was coming, and He sent His angel ahead of it. Michael says this is a spiritual detox moment. A cleansing. A time to remove what the enemy tried to slip inside you quietly. Type I am covered to get the blessing 7088. This message is not just information, it is activation. As you continue reading, a reversal is happening. The darkness that was placed in your system is starting to lose grip. Michael is standing between you and it. But you must stay alert. You must not scroll away. You must remain open to instruction. What the enemy wanted to hide, heaven is now exposing. You are not helpless. You are not weak. You are not alone. You are divinely seen, divinely known, and divinely defended. The nurse's touch was the beginning. But this message is the answer. Type I am anointed to get blessing 8891. This is your spiritual X-ray. Heaven is showing you what the eye cannot. And with Michael's help, what entered your body that day will have no power to stay. You may have blamed yourself for how you've been feeling. Maybe you said, I'm just tired, or maybe I'm just aging, or I've been too busy. But what if that's not the truth? What if the heaviness, the fog, the strange energy didn't come from you at all? Archangel Michael says this was not your burden. It was sent. It was transferred. The nurse's touch was not simple. It was spiritual contact. Something foreign entered, and it's trying to stay. Many people don't realize that spiritual attacks are not always loud. They are silent, wide. So, the enemy knows that if he makes it obvious, you will fight. So he hides it. He sneaks in through routine moments, especially moments when your guard is down. That's what happened on that day. You let your guard down. You didn't think anything spiritual could happen in that moment. What something did. And now you're noticing the symptoms. Type I am guarded to get the blessing 5542. You, any of these sound familiar? Sudden emotional sadness with no cause. Dreams that feel heavy or strange. Waking up tired even after rest. Doubting yourself more than usual. A drop in motivation. Losing interest in prayer or worship. These are signs, not random events. They are symptoms of something that doesn't belong in your spirit. But here's what Archangel Michael is saying. You are not late. You are not defeated. You are being rescued. Right on time. This message is part of your healing. The moment you started reading, something already started to shift. The more you receive, the more heaven removes. Type I am healing to get the blessing 6679. The nurse may not have meant to cause harm, but her hands carried more than she knew. People carry things. Spirits can attach themselves to the hands of people who are emotionally broken, spiritually unclean, or walking in darkness. That's why even a gentle touch, when unguarded, can open a spiritual gate. It's not about fear. It's about wisdom. The enemy uses ignorance to sneak in. But now, you know. Michael says this season has felt strange for a reason. You didn't imagine it. Your discernment wasn't wrong. Your body and spirit were reacting to something unseen. That's why the timing of this message matters. It's divine. You were led here for spiritual awareness and breakthrough. AT.PM delivered to get the blessing 7820. Archangel Michael is assigned to stand over your body, your mind, and your environment. He sees the invisible and fights battles you don't even know are happening. He stands at your door. He walks near your bed. He listens to the words people speak over you. And when something is planted in you that isn't from heaven, he shows up with a sword and a message. This is your message. This is your moment. This is your escape from what tried to settle deep inside. The enemy thought you wouldn't notice. He thought you would just keep moving, feeling strange, doubting yourself. But God said no. Heaven said no. Michael said no. AT.PM rising to get the blessing 8133. The same way it entered is the same way it will leave, with a touch. But this time, the touch comes from heaven. You are being reset. And what is not yours is being taken out. Beloved, if this message touched something deep in you, then imagine how many others need to hear it too. Every time you support this mission, you're placing a torch in someone's darkest hour. Heaven is using this platform to release light, and you're helping to carry it. God says in Isaiah 60:1, "Rise, shine, for your light has come." That light multiplies through your giving. I heard the Lord say, "Tell them their gift is oil in my lamp." Support this divine rescue by clicking Super Thanks or joining as a member. You can also sow a seed via PayPal. The link is in the video description. Don't delay. Act now. Light travels fastest when you carry it in obedience. Archangel Michael has seen the kind of trap the enemy tried to place inside you. It did not come with loud noise or dark clouds. It came quietly. It came in silence. Through a single touch. When that nurse placed her hand on your arm, something invisible attached itself to your energy. It looked like care on the outside, but something spiritual was planted on the inside. Michael says this was a hidden chain, something meant to quietly pull your spirit down, little by little. This chain was not made of metal. It was made of delay, of confusion, of tiredness, and of heaviness. It was designed to go unnoticed, to make you blame yourself for things you didn't even do. But God didn't leave you there. He sent this message, and He sent Michael to stand between you and that spiritual link. Right now, He is fighting, not with a sword of steel, but with divine light that cuts deeper than anything man can make. AT.PM free to get the blessing 7211. That nurse may not have even known what she was carrying. It's how spiritual transfer works. People carry things in their spirit, on their hands, in their words. If they are unclean spiritually, if they are under attack themselves, they can pass it on. And when your guard is down, that transfer can happen fast. But Michael was watching. He saw it enter, and now he is working to pull it out. This chain is like a root. It grows if it's not pulled up. It spreads if it's not stopped. It takes over thoughts. It drains your joy. It hides inside your body and creates symptoms no doctor can explain. But heaven can explain it, and heaven can destroy it. That's what Michael is doing right now. Cutting the root, removing the chain, clearing the atmosphere around you. AT.PM protected to get the blessing 6440. God didn't bring you here to scare you. He brought you here to save you. You've been feeling strange, haven't you? Like something was off. You didn't know what it was. You thought maybe it was stress, maybe it was aging, maybe it was just life. But now you know. This wasn't just physical. It was spiritual. And now it's being handled by heaven. Michael is not whispering. He is commanding. Every piece of that hidden chain is being shattered. The darkness that tried to use a nurse's touch to enter your life is now being forced to leave. You are not crazy. You are not losing your mind. You are waking up. And heaven is helping you. Type I am delivered to get the blessing 7982. Michael doesn't fight alone. He comes with authority. He comes with light. He comes with fire. The fire of God is moving through your spirit now. It is burning the ropes the enemy tried to tie around your soul. It is melting the fear that came out of nowhere. It is restoring the peace that was stolen quietly. You are being renewed, not in your feelings but in your foundation. This message is not ordinary. It is divine medicine. Heaven's kind. The kind that works in silence but brings loud results. The kind that touches your spirit and your body begins to follow. You may not feel the full shift yet, but it is happening. Because God never reveals something just to show it. He reveals it to heal it. Type I am rising to get the blessing 8691. Michael is closing the door that was opened. He is sealing the place where the enemy tried to enter. No more fog. No more lies. No more spiritual tiredness. You are coming out. The nurse's hand with the enemy's moment. But this message is God's moment. And God's moment always wins. Type I am healed to get the blessing 8655. After the nurse touched your arm, things felt different, didn't they? You may not have noticed it right away. But slowly, something began to feel off. You may have walked out of the building, feeling like everything was fine. But something invisible followed you. It didn't speak. It didn't scream. It just stayed close. It sat on your back. It rested on your thoughts. And settled like fog over your spirit. That fog was not from God. It wasn't peace. It wasn't healing. It was confusion wrapped in silence. That's how the enemy works. He copies God's ways but uses them to bring darkness. Just like God can send His Spirit through touch, so can the enemy try to place something heavy on your soul. But now, heaven is clearing that fog. Archangel Michael has stepped in, and he is speaking directly to your spirit. Type I am clear to get the blessing 7033. Fog is dangerous because it hides things. You may have forgotten goals you once had. You may have started to doubt things you once believed in. You may have found yourself questioning your health, your purpose, or your direction. That's not weakness. That's not aging. That's the result of something spiritual trying to cloud your vision. But the light of heaven is stronger than any fog of darkness. Archangel Michael is now moving through your atmosphere. He is pushing back the spiritual clouds. He's uncovering what was hidden. The nurse's touch may have carried confusion, but Michael carries divine clarity. He is whispering to your soul, you're not lost. You're not crazy. You're not under control of the enemy. You are under God's covering. Type I am focused to get the blessing 7428. You might have forgotten what it feels like to wake up with joy. That's because the fog stole your morning. It made your thoughts feel slow. It made your spirit feel tired. But you are waking up again. Heaven is opening a window, and wind is coming in. That wind is the Spirit of God. It is blowing away what tried to stay. What entered through the touch has now lost permission to remain. Do not be afraid if emotions rise as you read this. That's a sign that something is being lifted. Sometimes freedom feels like tears. Sometimes peace feels like shaking. That's okay. That means heaven is working. That means the fog is losing control over your mind, your health, and your future. Type I am awake to get the blessing 8179. The devil wants you confused because confused people don't move. He wants you stuck, not walking, not praying, not creating, not worshiping. But Michael says your feet are being freed. Your vision is being sharpened. Your ears are being cleared. You are not who the fog said you were. You are who God says you are, a child of light, not of darkness. Every time you keep reading, light is entering your spirit. That light pushes back the shadows. The fog is lifting. The voice of the enemy is fading. The heaviness in your body is beginning to release. Your shoulders will not carry this weight any longer. God is giving you your clarity back. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 7590. The nurse's hand was used to place a veil over your spirit. But Archangel Michael's voice is tearing that veil in two. You will no longer walk in fog. You will walk in the light. And every step you take from this moment will be in freedom, not confusion. Type I am free to get the blessing 8394. The nurse's touch may have looked like care, but in the spirit world, it was something deeper. It was not just a routine action. It was not just part of the visit. It was an opening. A small door was unlocked in that moment. And what came through that door was not from God. It came to distract you, confuse you, and pull you away from your peace. But now that door is being closed by higher authority. You didn't feel it right away, but it started showing up later. Maybe you started forgetting things more often. Maybe your prayer life became dry. Maybe you started pulling away from people. Maybe you felt a strange energy in your room or a pressure in your chest. These were not accidents. They were signs that something dark had found a way in. Type I am guarded to get the blessing 7412. God says you are His temple, and anything that enters without His permission must be removed. The enemy tried to sneak in, but heaven is not silent. Archangel Michael was watching. He saw the very moment the door was opened, and now, with divine authority, he is sealing it shut. No more access. No more open gate. No more spiritual invasion. The nurse may have smiled. She may have seemed gentle. That's why it was easy to dismiss what happened. But darkness often hides behind soft hands and fake kindness. The enemy knows how to mask himself. But nothing is hidden from God. Nothing escapes Michael's eyes. And when he acts, no demon can resist. Type I am shielded to get the blessing 7933. You are not alone in this fight. You are not left unguarded. The Lord sends His angels not just to watch, but to war. You may have felt weak. You may have felt exposed. But now, the shield of heaven is wrapping around you. Michael stands at the gate. He holds the sword of fire. He's declaring, this one belongs to God. No entry. Sometimes the enemy enters through wounds. A past pain. A past failure. A broken trust. But sometimes it happens through touch. Through people who are carriers of dark energy. And you being open, allowed it in without knowing. But now that truth has come, the damage stops. The flow ends. The door closes. Type I am sealed to get the blessing 8220. The devil thought this would go unnoticed. He thought you would live the rest of your life with this open door, but heaven said otherwise. This message is not a warning, it is a war cry. Michael was sent to recover what was stolen. That includes your strength, your peace, your energy, your sleep, and your connection to God. Do you feel something lifting? That's the power of divine truth. The weight is leaving. The spiritual intruder is losing grip. Your inner space is being cleared, and your outer world will begin to reflect this shift. You are being set free, not just healed. The enemy got in through a quiet moment, but God is restoring you through a powerful word. Type I am covered to get the blessing 8449. A nurse's touch was used as a key. But now, Archangel Michael is locking the door behind it and throwing the key into the fire of heaven. Type I am safe to get the blessing 8611. After that nurse touched your arm, something left with you. You didn't see it. You couldn't describe it. But you felt it. Maybe not right away, but within hours or days, the air around you changed. Your peace felt disturbed. Your room didn't feel the same. Something invisible had followed you home, and what entered your body through that touch now tried to take control of your atmosphere. You may have noticed a shift in how your space felt. Maybe it was harder to sleep. Maybe you woke up feeling drained. Maybe you heard sounds or sensed something standing near you. Don't ignore that. What happened wasn't your imagination. Archangel Michael saw the spirit that followed you. It didn't walk through the front door. It was carried inside by what entered you during that medical visit. A spirit assigned to drain you from within and surround you on the outside. Type I am aware to get the blessing 7441. Evil spirits often move silently. They like to hide behind things that seem harmless. A friendly face, a normal visit, a routine checkup. But once they enter, they begin to change the atmosphere. What once brought comfort now brings confusion. What once felt light now feels heavy, and without even knowing why, you begin to feel unsafe in your own space. But now, Michael has entered that space. Heaven has sent him not just to speak, but to act. Even now, as you read this, he is walking through the rooms of your home. Every door, every wall, every shadow, he sees what the enemy has tried to hide. And with a sword of divine fire, he is cutting through the fog. Every dark energy is being exposed and cast out. Type I am clean to get the blessing 7599. You may have even seen signs of spiritual activity. Cold spots in the room. Sudden feelings of fear or anxiety. Objects moving. Or maybe just a strong sense of something not right. These are not signs of madness. These are signs of a spiritual intruder. But remember this. What entered without your permission must now leave under heaven's authority. And Michael carries that authority. God doesn't want your home to be a place of panic. He wants it to be a place of peace. That's why this part of the message matters. The nurse's touch planted a seed. That seed turned into fog. Then the fog tried to plant roots in your surroundings. But heaven is clearing the soil. Your space is being restored to its rightful atmosphere. Type I am covered to get the blessing 7810. Begin to speak out loud, even right now. Where you are. Say, this room belongs to God. Say, every dark spirit must leave. Say, Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Your words are weapons. They join with the angelic commands. And when your voice aligns with God's truth, darkness loses its ability to hide. Michael is now standing in your doorway, like a divine guard. Nothing passes without his permission. He is watching over your sleep, your rest, your home. This is more than cleansing, it's protection. This is heaven reclaiming what the enemy tried to invade. And once Michael seals the space, the spirit that followed you will never return. Type I am protected to get the blessing 8040. You will notice a difference after today. Your sleep will deepen. Your thoughts will settle. Your heart will feel lighter. That's because the energy that came into your room through that dark touch has now been cast out by the light of God. The battle was real, but your victory is more real. Type I am purified to get the blessing 8537. You may have noticed your body started feeling strange after the nurse touched your arm. Maybe it started with small things. A sudden headache. A tight feeling in your chest. Sleep became harder. A new pain showed up without cause. Or maybe your energy dropped so low you could barely get through the day. You told yourself it was stress. You thought maybe you were just tired. But Archangel Michael says it was something more. That touch carried something unseen. And that something did not stop at your arm. It traveled. It moved into your bloodstream, then tried to enter your thoughts, your feelings, even your dreams. It brought spiritual weight into physical form. The devil knows that if he can touch your body, he can try to touch your faith. You hoped the pain would make you pull back from God. But heaven stepped in before it could grow stronger. Type I am strong to get the blessing 7305. Your body was not designed to carry this kind of weight. That's why you've been feeling off balance. The dizziness. The random fatigue. The pain that doesn't show up in medical reports. All of this was the result of spiritual invasion. But God is a healer of both spirit and body. He never reveals an attack without releasing a way out. And Michael is now applying the sword of deliverance to your physical space. That spirit tried to trick you into thinking you were just falling apart. But you're not. You're under restoration. God is reversing what was placed in you. Right now, healing has begun, not just in your emotions but in your cells, your nerves, your bones, your blood. Everything that was touched is now being touched by the hand of God. Type I am healing to get the blessing 7882. You are not imagining the strange pains. You are not weak for feeling this way. You are not being punished. You were under a hidden spiritual attack. And today is the day heaven fully exposes it. When you walked into that clinic, you didn't know what spirit was waiting. But when you walked out, heaven started preparing your rescue. Michael saw how your body reacted. He saw the late-night fear. He saw the way your muscles tensed for no reason. He saw how your appetite shifted. These are not small things. They were the body's cry for spiritual help. And God heard it. That's why this message was delivered on time, to heal what was placed in your system out of order. Type I am renewed to get the blessing 8016. The nurse gave a medicine, but the enemy used the moment. Now, heaven is giving a different kind of medicine. Divine fire. Fire that burns away every poison the enemy tried to plant. Fire that cleanses the bloodstream. Fire that revives tired bones. Fire that brings life back to where death tried to enter. You don't have to live in fear of your health. You don't have to wonder if something's wrong. You are being restored. You are being rebuilt. Heaven's power is stronger than any dark spirit. Michael's sword is cutting every invisible string from your body. You will breathe easier. You will think clearer. You will feel lighter. Type I am restored to get the blessing 8166. What was placed in you will not stay. What entered through touch is now leaving by fire. This is a holy release. Your body is receiving healing right now. because heaven has decided that this attack stops today. Type I am whole to get the blessing 8422. Once the spirit entered your body, it didn't stop there. It moved toward your mind. That's where the next battle began. You may have started thinking thoughts you never used to think. Doubts came in. Worry grew louder. Fear showed up out of nowhere. You tried to pray, but your focus would scatter. You tried to worship, but something felt blocked. This is what the enemy does. He enters through the body, but aims to control the mind. Archangel Michael says your mind hath been under silent war. You felt it in your sleep, in your choices, in your emotions. The nurse's touch opened the door, but it was your thoughts were not born in your spirit. They were planted by something outside of you. But God says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That renewal is happening now. The old thoughts are losing their place. Heaven is rewriting the script in your brain. Type I am calm to get the blessing 7325. Michael's sword isn't just for outside enemies. It also breaks chains inside your thoughts. Chains of fear. Chains of sadness. Chains of lies. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are not broken. These are lies planted by a spirit. And those lies are being silenced now. You are getting your mind back. Some days you felt like crying for no reason. Other days you wanted to hide. That was the weight of the spirit trying to rule over your emotions. But joy is your portion. Peace is your right. And Archangel Michael is cutting away the invisible hands that gripped your thoughts for too long. Type I am steady to get the blessing 7774. You may feel a shift even now. A breath of air. A clear head. A quiet heart. That is God's presence. That is what it feels like when heaven begins to heal what darkness tried to destroy. The nurse's touch started a chain. But this message is breaking every link. Type I am cleared to get the blessing 8651. If this word is helping you feel lighter in your body, clearer in your thoughts, and more confident in your walk, then know that God is using it not just to free you, but to raise you as a light for someone else. This message was sent by heaven, but it reached you because someone before you gave. Now it's your turn. God says in 2 Corinthians 9:10, he who supplies seed to the sower will also supply and increase your store. When you give, you don't lose, you multiply. Click Super Thanks. Become a member, or so via PayPal. You'll find the link in the description. Let your seed be part of someone's spiritual rescue today. After the nurse touched your arm, a dark spirit followed you. First it entered your body. Then it tried to cloud your mind. But it didn't stop there. Its next target was your prayer life. The enemy knows how powerful prayer is. He knows that even a whisper to God can shake the heavens. So he tried to block your prayers. That's why it suddenly felt harder to pray. You meant to, but the desire disappeared. Maybe you sat down to pray, and your thoughts wandered. Or you opened your mouth, and no words came out. Or maybe you began praying, but your emotions felt numb. These were not just distractions. They were signs. Something was pressing against your spirit, trying to stop your connection with God. But now, heaven is fighting back. Type I am connected to get the blessing 7316. Archangel Michael was sent to remove the invisible wall. The spirit that entered through the nurse's touch tried to build a wall between you and God's voice. It whispered, God isn't listening. It said, why bother praying? But those were lies. And now those lies are being broken. The line between you and heaven is being restored. God hears you, even in silence. He saw the struggle. You watched when you tried to pray and felt nothing. He counted every moment you wanted to draw near but didn't know how. And that's why he sent this message. To pull you out of that block. To clean the space between you and his throne. To remind you that nothing can stop your prayer when heaven is backing you. Type I am heard to get the blessing 7652. Prayer is not just words, it's spiritual fire. The enemy fears it because it brings answers, healing, peace, and breakthrough. That's why he tried to place a block on your mouth. But Michael says your mouth is being reopened. Your fire is returning. Your cry is rising again. Heaven is listening, and the block is breaking. Some people thought you were pulling away from God, but you weren't. You were under spiritual pressure. Something entered your space and tried to make you spiritually numb. But you kept going. You kept reading this message. And now, the chains around your voice are being shattered by God's authority. Type I am praying to get the blessing 7809. Don't wait for the perfect moment to talk to God. Right now is enough. Just whisper his name. Say, God, I'm here. That one sentence breaks the silence. The enemy cannot block you anymore. The power of prayer is being restored in your life. Your voice matters. Your cry is holy. And heaven is moving because of it. The same spirit that tried to stop your prayer is now silenced. It cannot follow you any longer. Michael has drawn a line. The door is closed. The atmosphere is cleansed. And your words will now rise like incense before the throne of God. Type I am heard again to get the blessing 8475. You may be wondering, why would a nurse carry something spiritual? Nurses are helpers. They are healers. They take care of people. Yes, many nurses are full of light. But some, without knowing, become doors for dark spirits. The enemy is clever. He uses people who are trusted. He hides behind kindness. He chooses places where you would never expect spiritual danger. That nurse may not have done anything on purpose. She may not even know she carried a spirit. But the enemy sought her weakness. Maybe she was dealing with pain, stress, grief, or bitterness. Maybe someone spoke dark words over her. Maybe you touched another patient who had spiritual attachments. Darkness can pass through people who are spiritually unguarded. Type I am protected to get the blessing 7524. The enemy is always looking for vessels. He wants to enter through touch, through voice, through presence. Hospitals and clinics are full of pain. People are vulnerable there. Your walls are down. That's why it's one of the easiest places for the enemy to pass spirits quietly. And that's what happened to you. But the reason you're reading this now is because heaven didn't leave you alone. Michael saw the moment it happened. He saw how the nurse touched your arm. He saw the spirit pass. He watched you walk out of the room not knowing anything had changed. But heaven knew. And your spirit knew something was off. That's why the fog came. That's why your energy dropped. That's why your sleep changed. Type I am aware to get the blessing 7699. This is not about blaming the nurse. This is about waking you up. Spiritual things happen every day, all around us. Most people don't see it. But those who belong to God are given signs. You are not going crazy. You are not imagining things. What you experienced was real. And now, what entered is being removed. Michael is uncovering the plot of the enemy. He's not just fighting the spirit. He's revealing the strategy. Why? Because when you understand how the enemy works, you become stronger. You know how to pray. You know how to cover yourself. You know how to stop future attacks. This message is not just for healing, it's for training. Type I am learning to get the blessing 8138. God is turning your pain into wisdom, your confusion into clarity, your weakness into authority. What the enemy meant to use to delay you, God is now using to equip you. From this moment on, you will be more alert. You will recognize strange energy. You will sense spiritual shifts, and you will have the tools to stop it. Michael is still standing by your side. His sword is still drawn. The nurse was used as a door, but now that door is closed, and the light that entered your life through this message is greater than any darkness that passed through her hand. Type I am sealed to get the blessing 8420. The spirit that came through the nurse was sent to harm you. It came quietly. It entered through a touch. It brought confusion, fear, pain, and delay. But it didn't succeed. You know why? Because God chose you to survive it. Others might have broken under this. God didn't let this spirit go unnoticed. He sent Archangel Michael to watch, to guard, and to fight for you. You were not forgotten. You were selected for rescue. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 7390. Even while you were sleeping, heaven was working. When you felt tired, angels were moving. When you felt silent, God was speaking. That spirit tried to make you feel alone, but you were surrounded. It wanted you to give up, but God pulled you into this message before that could happen. And now, the tables are turning. This is your deliverance season. Not just a moment, but a full shift. The spirit that tried to control your body, your mind, and your space is losing power every second. Your freedom is not coming. It's happening right now. Heaven is not asking for permission. The healing has already begun. The chains are already breaking. Type I am rescued to get the blessing 7751. You may feel emotional. That's okay. You may feel sudden warmth, tears, or peace as you read. That's your spirit reacting to the cleansing. That's the darkness leaving and light entering. You didn't survive this because you were strong. You survived because God said, "Not this one." He placed his name on you. He marked you for protection. Michael is not just finishing this fight. He is teaching you how to stay free. From now on, you'll pray with boldness. You'll walk with clarity. You'll protect your space. You'll know how to guard yourself in spiritual places. You've gone through fire, but you're coming out with power. Type I am rising to get the blessing 7888. You are not cursed. You are not broken. You are not stuck. You are God's child, and heaven knows your name. The enemy's plan failed. And not only did you survive, you're stepping into something greater. Your healing is becoming your weapon. Your story is becoming your strength. The nurse was not your enemy. The spirit was. But the spirit has been caught, exposed, and removed. You are clean. You are safe. You are sealed by God's hand. Type I am victorious to get the blessing 8663. You have come a long way since the nurse touched your arm. That moment opened a door, but heaven stepped in before the darkness could take over. Archangel Michael fought for your body. He fought for your mind. He fought for your space. And most of all, he fought for your future. Now that you are free, God has a message for you. You're what he has healed. The enemy is a thief. If he cannot stay, he will try to come back. If he cannot control you, he will try to confuse you. That is why you must be watchful. The spirit that entered through the nurse came in quietly, and it may try to return in a different way, through a voice, a place, or another touch. But this time, you will be ready. Type I am guarded to get the blessing 7924. Heaven has cleaned your atmosphere. Heaven has restored your fire. But now the responsibility is yours. You must speak over your space every day. You must pray over your body. You must bless your home. You must shut every small door before the enemy tries to use it again. You are not living in fear. You are living in awareness. Michael is not just your rescuer. He is your defender. And he remains with you as long as you stay in agreement with heaven. Stay in prayer. Stay in the Word. Keep light around you. Keep worship flowing in your house. These things are not rituals. They are weapons. They guard your healing. Type I am watching to get the blessing 7433. You don't need to be afraid of nurses or doctors. But you do need to be spiritually awake. Not everyone who touches your body should be allowed to touch your soul. That's why you pray before appointments. That's why you ask God to cover the room, the tools, and the hands. The enemy wants you to forget what happened. But God says, remember, your freedom came with a fight, and your peace is worth protecting. You must understand, the attack didn't start because you were weak. It started because you are chosen, anointed, covered in light. The enemy doesn't chase the lost, he chases those who are close to breakthrough. That's why he tried to sneak in through something small. Type I am covered to get the blessing 7688. But the plan failed, and now you are stronger. You have knowledge. You have insight. You have clarity. Your home is filled with the presence of God. Your thoughts are clean. Your sleep is restful. But don't grow lazy. Keep the fire burning. Speak light every day. Let the Holy Spirit walk every room. Michael is still near. God has not left you. The same power that rescued you will remain with you. But you must choose to walk in it. The nurse's touch brought something dark, but God's voice has brought light. And that light is now living in you. Type I am alert to get the blessing 8152. What heaven cleansed, you must now protect. You are no longer a victim. You are a warrior. And warriors stay awake. Now that your spirit has been cleansed, the enemy is watching from a distance. He knows he cannot enter the same way again. That door is closed. Michael sealed it. But the enemy is still trying to find another way. That's how he works. If he cannot come in through your body, he will try through your emotions. If not through your home, then through a voice. He always returns wearing a new disguise. This is why you must stay alert. The spirit that entered through that nurse did not leave quietly, and left by force. And it may return, trying to appear as something good. It may come through another helpful person, through kind words, or even through a familiar feeling. But now, you know what to look for. The peace of God is your guide. Anything that disturbs that peace is a warning sign. Type I am discerning to get the blessing 7584. Michael says this is a test of your new strength. Not a punishment, but a test. Can you spot the spirit when it hides behind a soft voice? Can you hear the shift in the atmosphere before it speaks? You can. Because your spirit has been trained. This experience did more than cleanse you. It sharpened you. God is not calling you to be afraid. He's calling you to walk with wisdom, to walk in light, to notice things others miss. That's part of your gift now. You didn't ask for this experience, but heaven allowed it so that you would rise stronger. The enemy didn't expect you to survive, but now you're not only alive, you're awake. I am aware to get the blessing 7,770. Sometimes the same spirit comes back in a dream, or through a song, or a sudden memory that brings sadness. These are not random. They are spiritual attempts to reattach. But because you've been cleansed, the spirit cannot stay unless you invite it. That's why every feeling must be tested. Ask yourself, is this from God? Does this bring peace? Does this align with what God already healed? When the spirit tries to come back, speak with boldness. Say it, I see you. You have no place here. Say, I have been sealed by God. Say, Michael stands beside me. These words carry power. They stop spirits before they can settle. And the more you speak them, the stronger your wall becomes. I am protected to get the blessing 7,991. You are no longer the same person. You have been through the fire and survived. Your spirit hath been washed. Your house has been swept clean. But now, it must be filled. Fill it with prayer. Fill it with truth. Fill it with psalms of praise. Let light live in your words, your home, your body. That is how you guard your freedom. A nurse's touch tried to bring long-term darkness, but God used it to bring long-term strength. Now you know how spirits move. Now you know how heaven responds. And now, you are ready for anything that tries to return. I am filled with light to get the blessing 8,619. Now that you've been cleansed, heaven is doing something even greater. You are not just being healed, you are being marked. Marked for future protection. This means that the next time a dark spirit tries to come near you, it will see the mark and turn away. That spirit that entered through the nurse will know not to return. Not because you are stronger alone, but because you are now covered in a divine seal. The seal is not a symbol made by man. It is not something you can wear around your neck or put on your wall. This is a heavenly seal, placed by God Himself. It glows in the spirit. Angels see it. Demons fear it. It says, this one is guarded. This one is covered. Do not touch. The spirit that tried to hide in your body knows this seal well, and it is terrified of it. I am marked to get the blessing 7,920. Archangel Michael is still by your side. He is not leaving just because the battle ended. He remains near to watch over you. He stands with his sword drawn. He has seen your strength grow. He has heard your prayers return. He has felt your peace come back. And now He has placed your name on the list of those heaven defends without delay. God always finishes what He starts. You didn't just receive a warning. You received a reset. Your life is shifting now. That moment with the nurse is no longer a wound. It's a testimony. What the enemy meant for harm, God has turned into strength. And now you are ready to walk forward with new fire. I am sealed to get the blessing 7,747. Your steps are now guarded. That means you won't walk into spiritual traps the way you once did. Your ears are more sensitive to God's voice. Your spirit can now pick up when something feels off. This is heaven's gift to you. A kind of spiritual radar. It will grow as you stay close to God. You'll feel it when people carry dark energy. You'll feel it when rooms are not safe. You'll know without knowing. The spirit that came through that nurse made a mistake. It does so in Juhan. It tried to block someone marked for purpose. And now that spirit hath been judged, it cannot come near you again. Not only that, it cannot touch those close to you, because your freedom has started a wave. The protection on you is spreading to your household. Type I am under divine watch to get the blessing 7484. You must keep walking forward. Don't look back. Don't return to fear. Don't let the memory of what happened trap you. Use it as fuel. Use it as wisdom. God didn't allow this to break you. He allowed it to reveal your strength. And now you are a threat to the darkness that once tried to silence you. The light is not just inside you. It is around you, above you, behind you, before you. And Archangel Michael is walking with you into every room, every doctor's visit, every night's sleep, every moment of your future. You are surrounded by divine defense. Type I am safe forever to get the blessing 8692. This is the final word from heaven on this matter. You are free. You are not just free in body. You are free in mind. You are free in spirit. You are free in your space. That spirit that entered through the nurse's touch is completely gone. It has no more access to you. The door it came through has been closed by fire, and God has locked it forever. Archangel Michael has finished the assignment. He stood by you in silence. He fought for you in the shadows. He spoke the truth that woke you up. And now, he stands above you, sword lifted, declaring, "This one belongs to heaven." There will be no second attack, no return, no cycle. This was not just healing. This was a spiritual ending. And from this ending, a new chapter begins. You will wake up tomorrow with new clarity. You will feel peace where pain used to live. You will see light in places that felt dark. This is not temporary. This is full restoration. What came through one hand has been broken by the hand of God. You don't owe the enemy anything. You don't have to fight anymore. The battle has already been won. You have been through fire. You didn't understand it all. You didn't expect it. But now you carry wisdom, strength, and spiritual power. You can now help others who are walking through the same attacks. Your voice carries light. Your story carries breakthrough. What once tried to take you down is now the very proof that God is with you. Never forget this truth. The moment the enemy tried to enter, God had already planned your rescue. That's how much He loves you. That's how deeply you are seen. And that's why this message was sent today, because God wanted to remind you that He never misses a moment, and He never lets go of His own. Type I am free indeed to get the blessing 8882. Now that you've been healed, covered, and sealed, let God use your freedom to set others free. This video may be the rescue someone else needs, but it only reaches them if we keep the fire burning. When you give, you're not helping a video, you're planting into the deliverance of thousands of souls. The Bible says in Malachi 3:10, "Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, see if I won't open heaven." Your gift does just that. It opens heaven for others. Click super thanks, join membership, or give via PayPal. The link is in the video description. Your obedience today becomes someone's miracle tomorrow.